Hello there folks, this is the final in this Grudge Match series of 1 vs 1s between Max and UnworthySponge from the realm. Will UnworthySponge remain unworthy, or will Max reduce his maximum levels of worthiness? I don't even know what I just said. Right, so we have UnworthySponge once again in the north position. Going bot first, gonna pop on my caps lock, or rather turn it off, but because it was already on, the game thought it was off. Much bug. Very not good. Wow. Right, so the bot factory first, probably going to follow up with a couple of fabricators there from Mr. Sponge. It's currently 1-1, I should probably say, in the series. This is the decider for those joining just now. The two videos previously will be the two previous games. But yes, it's just been spoiled, but there we are. So, Max down here on the southern part of the equator, not the most favourable spawn in terms of geography, although it is nicely protected. You know, it's nicely protected, but it's nicely protected. You know, you've not got too much space to build, so he's got a lot of walking and extra building to do, whereas UnworthySponge is nicely in the open and can build a lot easily and fast. So the fabricator's already out, the stingers are there, ready to go out on their expansion run. The radar here not fully completed and probably start... Nope, it was assisted there very aptly there. And the expansion train probably ready to go off to all the mechs now as well. Needs to get there fast, otherwise it's not going to be built, because the P-gen might be too close if you let the next one build. There we are, nice. So the commander's not going to be able to build that P-gen, I suspect. Although he might be able to, I don't even know. Sometimes it seems as though you can, sometimes you can't. Radar going up already from UnworthySponge there. Vehicle factories queued up all over the place to follow up as well, which is good. Max probably got out his grenadiers by now already. I'm just going to pop up the picture-in-picture here so you can see what's going on. The expansion train is ready from Max. The grenadiers coming out, and the Firefly as well for the scout. So what we really needs to do is move that Firefly, get it scouting, and then get the grenadiers following it up and try and get some pot shots on some fabricators, because that way your opponent has his early build power. Lucked out there, gone straight, but the early build power would be gone, and it was shot down, but he managed to see everything he needed to. He saw the factories going up, and he even saw the fabbers. So what he really needs to do now is get those grenadiers moving in that direction. Although, of course, he does like to move his grenadiers around the other side and just get them sat on expansions to it in order to deny them later on in the game. This is a nice bit of the soundtrack I haven't heard before, actually. Shall we just listen to this for a bit? Anyway, that's nice music. Right, back in the game though, we've got a Bumblebee harass moving over here. Is it going to take off a Fabber? Is it going to divert it? It does get a payload off. Fabricator goes down. It does get shot down by the commander, however, but very nice shot there. A Fabber is down. A Grenadier going to be following these ones. So this harass from Max might really pay off very well indeed. Combat Fabber is out as well. That needs to be Max's primary target. Will the next Bumblebee get a hit off? In fact, there isn't a next Bumblebee so far as can be seen. Is it being produced? No, is the answer to that. The Grenadier here going to be able to take down a nice good mech site as well, which is always good. Air Fabber's already up for Max. If we go back into the main picture over here, we can see him expanding to the pond. He does like expanding to that pond, but of course, because he knows UnworthySponge isn't particularly keen on air, he knows that he can probably get away with a good payoff for that air fab. Combat Fab train moving up now to get to this vehicle factory line that Max is going to be producing. Not too distant from the spawns there, actually. A very good placement. And it also sort of defends this expansion here if he chooses to take it. UnworthySponge's tactic from the last game of Divide and Conquer is going to be slightly more difficult, although somewhat more effective if he manages to pull it off here, because of course the geographies of Max spawn means he's not got the freedom of movement that he might like if that were to be the case. The crevasses here really might hamper that movement of units from front to back if he needed it. Spinner there, getting off the Bumblebee, just surviving, very nice there. He needs to find the combat fab, but unfortunately he's going to head straight towards the stingers and get shot down before getting off that hit. He needs to move right back into the middle of the base there and get off that combat fab kill. That might be what he does with the next Bumblebee, even if he decides to use a next Bumblebee. Doesn't look like he actually has one yet. He's not even building one, which is unfortunate for him, but he has got now 5 vehicle factories up and running. No Infernos yet, though. Max doesn't seem to like using Infernos too much, but UnworthySponge did mix them in the last game towards the end when it mattered, which is good of him. He's also getting up his proxy base like last time. Now this is going to be an effective proxy base if it starts working pronto, because you're going to have the tug of war on the main over here with relatively equivalent numbers of factories, which is really going to be good at stopping Max, but UnworthySponge does need a bit more economy. But as soon as this goes up, it means units are going to be coming in through the back and harassing all of this mechs and the power as well. Which means Max is probably going to need a few factories up towards the back of his base. Instead he's getting up storage, which is a good idea because I guess he's floating a lot at the moment. But here, single fileness, getting surrounded unfortunately. Bit of trading off going on in the middle. UnworthySponge going to be able to defend to an extent here, but Max got a continuous stream of units coming out the back. UnworthySponge struggling a little bit with his metal income, which is probably going to slow down on that output there, but he is also bringing out a lot of spinners. It seems as though his repeat build queue is sort of ant spinner, ant spinner, ant spinner. Another factory there, sort of Inferno, 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 which is good. But ant spinner, 1-to-1 is probably not what you want. You probably want 2 ants for a spinner, especially if your opponent isn't going hard on air, because you do need to survive this early game tug of war, which seems so prominent in the latest patches. Even the commander moving out again from UnworthySponge. We'll probably see the walls go up shortly, just around where my cursor is here. The Uber Cannon might go off as well, but it'll either go walls or Uber Cannon. He is losing a bit of health here, which isn't great. Needs to use that Uber Cannon. Walls going up nicely now as well, but it is down to about 80% of his health, which isn't brilliant. 80-85 that is. Pushing some wreckages out the way, but Max is winning this tug of war at the moment. He needs more factories. He's getting the combat fabs to assist the factories going up, which is good. He is running out a little bit of eco there. He does need more eco. He's building more factories instead. He needs to get up some more P-gens, but it's just factories galore at the moment, and indeed we've got the units harass coming in around the back now. He hasn't actually scouted these expansions, so he doesn't know the Fabra is there. If he moves just a little bit to the east, he would get that Fabra and really get a big win for him there, because it would hamper Max's expansion. Max already on 227 metal, which, well, 234 now, but it's massive in comparison. The commander's still on the front lines here, not the best place to be. Down to half his health. He needs to use some Uber Cannon. He needs to, or at least get behind some walls, because he's now down to about a third of his health and losing. All he needs to do is hold off this push from Max, and then he might be able to pull this back. That is the crucial bit at this point in the game. Holding off this push. Still spinners coming onto the front line. Not wise. Not wise at all, but it looks as though he is just about going to be able to hold off this push. A little bit more lag, unfortunately. Right at the crucial stage of the game, we might have to go into Chronocam and see what's going on. But we'll take out picture-in-picture for now. And, but looking around, he's expanding nicely towards the north there from Sponge, and even getting up another staging point. Connection to server. Right, so unfortunately, because the game has a whole number of bugs in it at the moment, Gamma is Gamma and all that, I'm going to have to cast in Chronocam, so unfortunately you will have the spoiler at the bottom as to how far through the game it is, but you'll just have to try and ignore that, I'm afraid. My goodness, and checking manifest took about 10 minutes, so yeah, this game is long finished. I haven't actually talked to the players, so I don't know what's actually happened in the game. I haven't been able to see the rest of the game. And yeah, that's my internet for you. But very well done by UnworthySponge, who's managed to completely fend off this early attack from Max, and that's what's important to him at this point in the game. As long as he fends off that tug of war and actually manages to push it back in his favour, his little side proxy bases, or staging posts as I like to call them, will actually do really good work. Here the Grenadiers, last line of defence on the flank here from Max. Going to put in a good amount of work, but they do get one-shotted by tanks, unfortunately, but they did manage to take out that one. The numbers in the tanks on the flank aren't big enough yet, but Max is just expanding away with that single fab train there, which is really good. And these factories on the front lines continuing to pile up on the units. This is where I think Max probably needs to build more factories rather than eco. I don't even know why I can't see the economy of the players. It's really annoying. That's another bug. So you can't see the economy in the replay. I need to go and report that, or at least suggest it. Apologies for that, folks. Anyway, that aside, UnworthySponge has managed to fend off on the front of his on the front side, and that's what's crucial, as I've already said. He's even mixing in a few infernos there as well, which is also great. Great news. Getting up even more factories as well, so he's going to be able to overpower this tug of war here and actually push it back in his favour. And because he's also doing things on the flank, he's going to be taking out a little bit of expansion. He needs to actually do a little bit of scouting so he knows what Max is doing. He is doing that with the Faber here actually, so he'll probably maybe even move some units over there and deal with these mechs points. Indeed, look, there we are, pulling a few units back, probably going to be moving them over there. Let me put the caps lock on. Indeed, there they are, they're going to take out those 4. And Max, not Max rather, UnworthySponge will probably consider moving constantly through there, just getting off the constant scouts. Back onto the main though, another assault coming in on the tug of war section. The main sort of broadsiding from both columns here, really interesting. What was that? Just a little mountain pass here, or rather glacial pass. But Max getting a little bit surrounded here actually. I think that I can probably call this into Sponge's favour, although actually no, it's gone back to even Stevens now actually, because Max has pulled his units back away from the front. If he'd have kept going though, I think it probably would have remained even. But Sponge just ready to push forward again. I'm not sure what his economy is doing, I'm afraid, again, because yeah, it looks as though we might just be alright on the economy actually for the moment, because the factory's going up rapidly, the units are building nice and fast. But oh dear, I didn't see these getting built. I assume there were lots of just hummingbirds. But Bumblebee's here, targeting the commander, knowing he's on low health. How much damage can they do? Single pass, just need a couple more bombs. Can this be Max's win here? Let's go down and see. Yeah, that's a game to Max. Very nice. Oh, he knew he didn't have the factory capability to hold off on the tug of war for too much longer. Wow. Very nicely pulled out of the bag there. He knew the commander was on low health, and he just needed the bumblebees to go in and finish the job for him. Very good play there. Very good play. So, Max takes this best of 3. 2-1. Sponge fought gallantly. Or valiantly. Or however... bravely, I think, is probably the best term here. But let's have a look at how he was building all those bumblebees. Combat Fab assisting a single air factory here. This is what I've been doing in a few sort of team games. You always get a good number of bumblebees coming out with combat fabs. Come on, back faster. What's going on here? Some sort of buggy chronocam, that's what. Anyway, whatever. But you see how he was doing it. Combat fabs produce those really, really quickly. Yeah, chronocam's probably bugged out now. Anyway, so let's close that. Thanks again for watching, folks. Really hope you enjoyed this best of 3 series. Oh, there you go. That's why it was bugged out. Damn internet. Right, anyway. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more PA on the way very soon indeed. And leave any feedback you have in the comments below. As again, that is where half of my enjoyment comes from, knowing that you guys have enjoyed my content. And or knowing that I can improve in certain desired ways. Again, thanks again, and as always, have a nice day.